Sorry. I am with you. I promise I am with you. Hello. Hi and welcome to Morning Mindset. We are here. It's Tuesday, I do believe, Tuesday the 9th. And welcome. This week we are talking all week about the supported mindset. And you can go back to the last couple of days. We started on Sunday. I told you the thing that prompted me to do this. We talked about, we're going through like a 4-step sort of challenging task thing that you have to do this week. We talked about who am I or who are you in the first part. Then we talked about what are your beliefs yesterday. Now, that is generally sometimes a very uncomfortable process to look at our beliefs and then to see that those beliefs have altered our situation. Now, it's funny because when we talk about manifesting and we talk about manifesting techniques, pretty much everything works. And you're manifesting all the time, whether you're doing techniques or not. So this is something really important to understand and grasp about the manifesting process and getting what you want, is that you might be out there looking for techniques or saying, why isn't this working and stuff like that, but it's always working. You're always manifesting, whether you're focused on the techniques or not. Some people can go through their entire lives and never know that they are manifesting their entire lives and they're still doing it. So this is the first thing we have to get clear in our minds, that any techniques that I share with you, law of attraction, law of assumption, affirmations, visualization, all of these techniques are things that I've used that have helped me to shape my reality, but everything works. There is no one mystery technique that you don't know that you should know, because it's always working constantly, all the time. You're manifesting constantly all the time with how your thoughts and your feelings and everything like that. So this is why we're going through this process this week, because it helps us to become more consciously aware of what we're actually, becomes more consciously aware of our mindset and how that's impacting the results that we have in our lives. Because we are constantly manifesting based on our mindset, our thoughts, our feelings. So yesterday we talked about what are your beliefs that are not in alignment with your goal. So we had a goal, and then we talk about what are the beliefs that are not in alignment with your goal. So I suggested that if you had a goal of becoming a millionaire, but you hated the thought of looking at your bank account because you don't know if you're going to be overdrawn, or you don't know if that bill's going to be paid, or that money's going to come out, or that direct debit is going to clear. That is not in a place of I am millionaire. And everything has to be in the present tense. I am. It's not that it's coming or it's, possibly there or something like that. You just start with I am. And you don't look for it, because once you believe it 100%, the I am, you don't have to look for it, because if you already are something, you're not looking for it. If you say to yourself, I am a millionaire, you're not going to wake up every morning going, oh, I better check if I'm a millionaire. You're a millionaire, or you have a net worth of $1 million, or assets of $1 million, or whatever like that. So it's not something you have to look for. I don't wake up automatically in the morning and think, oh, I want a shower. I better check that the water's going to come out of the tap. You just assume that when you go to turn it on, it's going to be there. You don't think about it. You just think about, I'm taking a shower. You don't think about, oh, I need to make sure the water's there first. And have I manifested the water yet to take the shower? It's like we don't do it. So that's the kind of automaticness that we need to have. So when we're looking at our beliefs and we're looking at all the beliefs that we have that are out of alignment, what we're doing is we're simply making ourselves consciously aware of them. And then what do we need to do? Now, I've been doing an experiment in biohacking. I've used this technique. I've used this technique a lot, actually. I've done auto affirming. I've done a lot of different things. But in the end, it all comes down to just doing something that's going to make me believe I am. And the more you manifest and the more you do this, the more you will automatically start to believe any new manifestations that are going to occur. And it's so funny because we often automatically assume negative things are going to happen to us, but we don't always automatically assume that positive things are going to happen to us. So we end up a lot in a perpetual cycle of, you know, the wrong side of the bed type scenario, you know, like where we get up out the wrong side of the bed and everything goes wrong. So what we're going to do today, we're going to get into the technique before we do our accountability. And what we're going to do today is, part of the technique is to take all our beliefs that we took yesterday and look at the ones specifically that are not in alignment with the goal. Okay, so let's say, for example, the goal is I am a millionaire. Okay, so you want to look at all the things that a millionaire would not do that you're doing, and you want to then create a new statement around those things that come up for you, those thoughts. So let's say, for example, if it's I dread looking at my bank account, or I dread looking at my bank balance, you would say, I love looking at my bank balance. Why do you love looking at your bank balance? Because you're a millionaire. Because it's nice to see the million in the bank or the millions in the bank. So you need to go through this process. You know, I did this a lot when I was doing the biohacking and thinking about how I wanted to do certain things. You know, like I knew that certain things that I was doing probably were not in alignment with how I wanted to be, the healthier version of me, the slimmer version of me. So I took those things that I kept telling myself, you know, I love chocolate, and I would tell myself I don't really like chocolate anymore. And I can have it if I want it, if I fancy it, but I don't really like it. And then it becomes a new program. I don't like, I don't eat that, or I only drink in moderation, or, you know, like you create these new paradigms and these new shifts. A lot of people will think that their money issues and things like that are related to things that happened to them growing up, and that's probably a lot to do with it, because we are so impressionable as we're younger that we onboard a lot of these things. We don't know we're onboarding them on a subconscious level, and they stay stuck there. But when you uncover them and you realize, oh, I have this feeling towards, for example, myself, or I have a feeling towards money, which is not, you know, a feeling that's in alignment with me already having the goal, then you have to really consciously start to think, what is the opposite of this? So like I say, if you're nervous about looking at your bank account, suddenly you love looking at your bank account, and you need to start looking at your bank account every day and saying, thank you for the money that's in this bank account. Thank you. You know, like when you're paying a bill, you know, if you're somebody who dreads bills coming in or dreads paying bills, if you were a millionaire, you probably would not feel like that. So you have to immediately, if you want a fast manifestation, you have to really immediately come into a place where you're saying, I love to pay bills because I've got the money to pay the bills. You know, it's great. I've got them off my plate. You know, I always pay bills on time. I've always got the money to pay the bills. You know, instead of like, I dread paying bills. I dread the electric bill coming in. I dread this. So you've got to look at all those statements that you wrote down yesterday, all the statements of the beliefs that you have, the feelings that you have towards achieving the goal or having the goal already, and you have to switch everything into an alignment with who you are achieving the goal. I hate exercise. I love exercise. I'm so fat. I'm so skinny. You know, like whatever it is that comes through for you, you've got to do the opposite of it. Um, I have to budget my shopping. I don't have to budget my shopping. I can buy what I want. Okay? So as soon as you start to do this, you'll start to catch yourself. Like, for example, I buy a lot of kids' food. I call it kids' food, you know, chicken nuggets and cakes and biscuits and things like that, because it's around for, I've got 5 kids and it's around for my kids. Welcome, Anna. And I used to say, like, my weakness was chocolate peanuts. So if there was chocolate peanuts in the house, I was going to eat them. Now I've flipped that on its head. So I no longer want chocolate peanuts. And it actually really does work. I think to myself, then I can have a couple if the kids are having a couple, but I don't necessarily want them. And sometimes I just simply don't feel the need to eat anything like that. But I also don't restrict myself. So it's not like saying to yourself, I'm going to cut myself off from this. It's like saying, I simply don't want it anymore. I simply don't like it anymore. Or I simply don't feel that way anymore. So whatever it is you're trying to manifest, whatever your beliefs are, if the belief is not in alignment with your goal, you then have to make the list today of all of the new paradigms that you are going to start shifting into to be that person who is achieving that goal or has already achieved that goal. So again, if you're a millionaire, all your paradigms around money have to be in alignment with how a millionaire would feel. And it's not that difficult. You have to simply imagine, I've got a million, I am a millionaire right now. I am a millionaire. You just say it, like, this is who I am. I've got all of this money in the bank account. Like, how would I feel about that now? What would I be thinking about that now? You know, what would I be doing about that now? You know, so many other things. And especially, like, if you have paradigms about things you want to fix in the house or the car or something like that, you know, and then you're telling yourself constantly, oh, I've really got to fix that, you know, I need to get the money together to fix that. That's just going to keep you in that same paradigm. But if you write down, I fixed the car, I've mended the pipes, I've replaced the water heater, you know, then you're not in that state of, I've really got to do that and I've got to find the money to do that. You've already done it, and you have to get into that paradigm. So today, write down the paradigms that you need in, as if you were already living that goal, as if you would already achieve that goal. You say to yourself, I am this, I have this, I've done this, whatever it is for you and whatever your goal is for you. And then you look at your beliefs that you wrote down yesterday, and any that are not directly in alignment with who you are now, as in who you are, who the person who's achieved the goal, you need to rewrite them. Rewrite your beliefs and your paradigms, and you write them down in a list, so you've got all the old ones and you've got all the new ones. You can do it side by side if you want to. But what you want to do then is really focus on the new ones. So if they are, for example, relating to food and you really want to do a weight loss journey, you know, you would maybe put these little reminders to yourself on the fridge or something until it became completely apparent that that is now your thought process. I don't like that. I don't want to eat it. You know, I literally look in the fridge and see foods that I used to eat all the time, and I simply don't want to eat them anymore because I tell myself I don't want to eat that. And it's that kind of like place that you need to be in any type of goal. If you have goals relating to your physical self, and you say to yourself, I don't like this about me, I don't like this about me, I've got wrinkles, I've got this, you know, you have got to start shifting into, I have amazing skin, I glow, you know, I'm my perfect ideal weight, you know, like, and it probably will feel icky to start with because it's not true, but you have to rewrite your paradigms. You cannot be in the same state and manifest what you want when your inherent beliefs are not in alignment with what you want. So that's what you need to do today. So write all those down. What are your new beliefs? What are basically the opposite of all the beliefs that are not in alignment with your goal? So write those down today, get very clear on those, because these are the ones you're going to have to start telling yourself on a daily basis. Now, you don't have to get all stressed about it, but when the moment comes up, like if you're a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, and that moment comes up if you've got to pay that bill, just happily look at your bank account. Happily know that tell yourself the money is going to be there to pay the bill. I'm going to pay the bill today, or I have paid the bill. You might not see it in reality, but don't look for it, because if you start looking for it, then obviously you're just going to have to come to a point where you can't pay the bill until that money's there. But if you just keep telling yourself the money's there, it will be. It's like an odd sort of interim shift process that happens, but it does happen. And when you're in that interim shift process, you're either going to err on the side of where you already are, or you're going to say, no, I'm going to err on the side of where I'm intending to be and where I am now. It just requires that the manifestation has to catch up a little bit with where you are now. So you say, I am a millionaire, and if you go to your bank account, you don't see the millions and you can't pay your bill today, you still tell yourself, I'm a millionaire. Everything's going to happen in its right time, but it's there. It's simply catching up with me a little bit. So, you have to believe it in that sense. And like I say about the shower situation, you don't wake up in the morning and get a little bit concerned that the water might not come out of the shower. You just know that you'll turn it on. Sure, sometimes the water goes off or whatever, but it's few and far between. It's meant to come out of the shower. You're meant to have your goal. You're meant to be a millionaire. You're meant to be in your ideal body. You're meant for all of it, because that's what you truly want. But you have to stay in a state of you have it. And then the way you get to that is by shifting these beliefs from where they are right now into the supporting beliefs of where you are when you have achieved that goal. So that's what you need to do today. Write down your new paradigms. Take your old beliefs and rewrite them into beliefs of the person who has achieved the goal. Okay, so now we're going to do our accountability. We're going to come back here tomorrow for the final part of this process. Congratulations if you've done this process, by the way. And if you haven't, go back to part 1, part 2. Today was part 3. We've got part 4 tomorrow. But really do this process. And you can do this with any goal. You can do this with anything that you want to manifest in your life. If you really want to dig deep and figure out, like, why have I not been getting this? This is one really good tool to use in the toolbox to be able to figure that out. This is something that was really instrumental with me in terms of getting where I wanted to be, and it should really work for everyone if you believe it's going to work for you. So if you're sitting there and this makes sense to you and you think, actually, yeah, I do need to figure out why, I do need to figure out my autopilot things that I'm telling myself that are not in alignment with achieving my goal, and I need to rewrite them because I need to get rid of them. So you either dump them all together, or you write the opposite and you start telling yourself the opposite of what that is. It's a very interesting process, and I'm very curious to see how that impacts you going forward, because if you're really super serious about this and you do it, the change can happen quite quickly, and I know this from my own experience. Okay, so that's it for today. Let's go into our daily accountability, and I will see you back here for the final part of this process tomorrow. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before. Thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for.
You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.